Call this meeting to order, the regular meeting of the City Commission of Rio Grande City. It is Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. It is 6:07 p.m. and we are in Commission Chambers, 5332 East US Highway 83, here in Rio Grande City, Texas, Suite A. At this time, we'll have the invocation by Commissioner Escobedo, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Olivares.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Lord, we thank you for this day and for the rain, dear Jesus. We thank you that you're blessing us with more blessings, and we ask that you guide us every moment, that you guide this city. We ask that you be the center of this city. I want to thank you for all our employees that work hard. We ask that you protect them in everything that they do. We ask this in your name, amen. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Commissioner Escobedo. Commissioner Olivares.
Yes, sir.
This time we'll have roll call and finding of quorum. Ms. Garza.
Yes, sir. Mayor Villarreal.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez.
Here.
Commissioner De Leon.
Here.
Commissioner Olivares.
Here.
Commissioner Escobedo.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Garza. Next item is 1C, public forum. Do we have anyone signed up for public forum?
We had Mr. Arturo Lopez signed up, but I don't see him, so I don't think he showed up.
Okay. For the record, Mr. Arturo Lopez signed up for public forum. Is he here, Mr. Lopez? Next item is 1D, departmental reports. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commission. I'm just here to formally invite you guys to our annual National Night Out, which will be on September 27th at the Basilio Villarreal Park. So I'll give you guys, pass out a flyer in a bit. So it's just to extend our invitation to you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything that?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We have alpacas. All right, petting zoo. All right.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Ms. Kathy Rubio and I are partnering with the museum, the EDC, Main Street,
City, Bristol.
the library, of course,
And the
Bristol, and the school district to have our first Grito en el Kiosco. And it'll be on September the 15th, and what we want to do is kick off the National Hispanic Month and have start a new tradition with partnering with our partnerships and with our events.
We're going to have music, food, aguas frescas, lots of jalapeno eating contests, grito contests. So it's going to be a lot of fun for the whole family. It'll be a Thursday night, and I messed up on the day. I'm going to say there were out-of-town games that day, but it's still going to be okay. It's still going to be great. I can't wait. And Mr. Mayor, you got to be there.
You ladies signed up for the grito?
I win.
And we're also bringing back our Keeping It Real art show.
Yes.
And we've got 19 artists already signed up. So it should be a very nice event. We'll have art, we'll have, like Kathy said, dances and music. It'll be a nice, fun, family fun event like we like to have.
And hopefully some craft vendors as well, and all the food will be free. We keep getting calls about food vendors, but no, we're not. We want people to just come and have a good time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
ladies.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Another item for your consideration, Mayor and Commissioners, we, a couple years ago, we got a T-SLAC CARES grant, and we were able to buy brand new computers for staff and the patrons. And our surplus computers, we've kept them. Eddie felt that they were so good enough that maybe other agencies or other departments within our city could use them. And we do have a request from La Grulla. They're starting a library They would like to see, we would be willing to donate a computer to them, and the other request is from the City of Escobar's library. So I'm bringing that forward to your consideration.
Is it on, it's not on the
Yes,
agenda?
it's in the-
Okay. Thank you.
Do we need a motion, sir?
It'll be on
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
Oh, that's on the
Oh,
agenda,
okay,
okay.
sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know it was in another part. I didn't get the agenda with me. Okay, all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mayor, Commissioners, at your place, you should have an invitation. We are members of the Rio Grande Valley Partnership, and they've teamed up with the Texas International Produce Association for an event coming up September 15th. It's updates on the 2019 Tomato Suspension Agreement and the South Texas tomato industry. Given that you're elected officials and the policies that you make here at City Hall impact our local economy, they invite you to be part of this presentation, and there's a reception to follow. Industry leaders will be there to talk to you about what they are experiencing and how you can help. So if you're interested, please let us know so that we may RSVP you for this event.
Is it similar to the Spanish version of Tomatina where they, have a tomato fight and
I hope not.
similar to Spain's Tomatina? I don't remember the exact
Yeah.
pronunciation of
Not then don't wear white.
Right, they throw tomatoes at each other. And
Yeah. I don't know.
So
I
nothing
don't
like
think
that. It's
so. I
something
hope
different.
not.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's make it like that.
Let's start a new tradition.
Thank you, Ms. Guida. Anyone else for departmental reports?
I don't think so.
Okay. Next item, if no one objects, I'm going to bring forward item 6C, which we have the presentation introduction of the city's airport advisory board. No objection. At this time, we're going to move on to item 6C, and presentation introduction of the city's airport advisory board. And I know we have some of the members here. If you want to come up and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your wonderful plans about the airport and where are we? I know
Good evening, Mayor, City Commission. I have here some members of the board. They'd like to come up and say a little bit of something that what's been going on at the airport. Mr. Armendariz, our chairperson, is going to be wanting to speak to Mr.
Do you want to be introduced, everybody to introduce themselves, or what do
We
we?
have a chair here, Mr. Alonso
Alonso
Armendariz,
Alonso Rodriguez Jr.,
board member, and also a board member.
and we have other three that are here right now, so. Okay, now, this is a newly formed committee, so we're not really prepared or know what exactly what's expected of us, but as a board, we came up with a mission statement. We've gone to the airport itself. We looked at the hangar, we looked at the lights, we looked at the buildings that are there. We've also, he came up with a proposal. Somebody, you want to tell them or you want to tell them?
You can share it if you want.
Okay, a possible flight school coming to the airport in the future. Mr. Robert Bale has looked into getting a truck to deliver gasoline in the area. All these things are in the plans. I've been looking into it, and I know some others have been looking into trying to find funds for the airport, but all the deadlines are closed. We have to wait till next year for them to open, and we're trying to reach out to other airports to get some leads to where we can go. And so that's the things that we've been working on. Is any questions or anything, we'll be happy to answer.
Well, really, it's in looking where the growth of Rio Grande City is going, and the airport is going to be instrumental in the future of Rio Grande City and Stark County as a whole in our region. That's why, at that point, I know through Commissioner Escobedo, it's talked about this advisory board, and it's great that you all are willing to serve, because this board will give us some recommendations, suggestions about what we can do and plan from here on out, because it, like I said, the airport will be an instrumental part in the connection of all the dots of our economy and where we're going. So definitely look forward to the work that y'all are doing, and thank you for serving, because we need this advisory board to provide us with those recommendations as to where we want to see Rio Grande City, the future, and that's going to be an instrumental part of the growth and economy. And like you just mentioned, whether it's a school, whether it's the private sector that want to come in and fly planes, or in the future, transportation of goods and services, through our connection with our land port of entry. I know Mr. Vale is part of that too, so there are a lot of possibilities. So by all means, definitely keep us in contact, and wherever we can see this growing, it's part of that growth of Rio Grande City. Anything else, commissioners, you would like to add?
Yes, of course. You know, I was in one of our first meetings, and I know it takes a lot to volunteer your time, and I want to thank you for doing that. And I think you all are going the right direction by asking our neighbor airports on what they're doing. And you know, we just want to hear what you recommend. And of course, we want to support you guys on what you all are doing and make sure that that airport is growing. And we have to have that communication. You guys have my number, you have the mayor's number, and of course, that's why there's that committee, so we can make sure that we can move forward and grow. Like the mayor was saying, the city is growing and it's exciting to be part of it. And thank you for saying yes. Thank you for being part of that committee, and I think it's a very important committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, it's our pleasure to, yes.
Thank you, sir.
The only thing we add with that is, at first, when we establish boards, just know that part of that, it doesn't come with a fund to balance with it. However, it does not mean that in the future we can't get there.
Correct.
Same thing has happened with other boards that we established, but then once they bring in the suggestions, recommendations, then at that point we can move and start adding funding for it as well. And it will happen. But right now it's, getting it off the ground. It's getting this off the ground and then starting to bring it in and coalesce into where we want to see the airport in the future and how it contributes to the economy of not just Rio Grande City, but the entire region. And the airport, this is the only show in town, right?
Yeah.
So by all means, it's a great part of it. So don't feel at this point you have our full support. Might not be financially at this point, just remember that.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad that you're looking at funding sources. But like I said, it will come because it's going to be critical. The airport is critical to our growth, and we do see it, and that's why the commission moved on having an advisory board. So thank you all for serving and volunteering your time. We certainly appreciate it.
Mayor, if I may add, the flight plans, and it's just regarding the funding, but so I've spoken to the school, this is all preliminary, right? We're just coming up with ideas, but some the gentleman is willing to invest here in this area. He's going to visit the airport probably by Friday. He said he'll come and take a look physically. He already looked at via satellite. He really likes the area and stuff like that. Something that he was looking at, McAllen ISD has a program where they're sending some of their students, and he's looking for if we can later on work collectively with the school districts, possibly do something similar. He would be possibly willing to invest and put in some money here into the airport. But that's something we would have to, speak further and talk to the school districts around and stuff like that. But he is definitely very interested in investing here and possibly starting a flight school.
Hey, sign me up. I'll be his first student. I want to learn how to fly. Ron. Hey, why not?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you
So much. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Great job, guys. Great job. Thank you.
Oh yes, please, let's not forget our picture. If you all can come up. Picture, commission, we need to make sure we put it in the paper. Yeah. Outside, yours, outside.
Right there.
In front.
Right in front.
Great job, guys. So nice to see you both.
Thank you. You're part of it too? You're part of the...
We centered, yes.
Here we go, yes, here we go. 1, 2, and...
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. At this time, if no one objects, we'll move into executive session. Item 7, executive session, Chapter 555, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, and Section 551.074, and we'll be moving item, 5F into executive session. Right? It is 6:21 PM. Reconvene into regular session. Consideration of action on matters discussed during executive. It is 7:01 p.m. At this time, if no one objects, we'll go back to item 5F. Discussion and possible action to approve a service contract with Pope and Peña,
Mayor, I would like
PC,
to-
for city attorney legal services.
I'm sorry, we would like to move that we approve the contract for Pope and Peña PC for our city attorney legal services.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Olivares, second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. And this time we'll have no one objects. Item 6A, swearing in of city attorney, law firm of Pope and Peña.
Mayor, I just want to know how come I had 3 pies and I had cookies. That doesn't seem to be fair. Are we on the record?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. I don't know what he's talking about.
The plate said Reba.
Y'all can move up here, please.
John Pope. Ready? Raise your right hand. I, John Pope, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office municipal judge of, execute the duties of the office of municipal judge of the city of Rio Grande City.
No.
I got the wrong ones here.
No, I forgot to delete that part.
Okay, you want to change it up? Change it up. You see? You're ready to take my job?
Okay, that's why you got the cookies.
City attorney.
Here we go again.
All right, here we go. All right.
You sure you don't want this?
Take 2.
Take 2. This is a real one. All right.
Okay. I, John Pope, do solemnly swear
I, John Pope, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of
the duties of
city of attorney
city attorney
of the great city of Rio Grande
of
City,
the great city of Rio Grande City,
and to the best of my ability,
and to the best of my ability,
protect, preserve, and defend the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws
and the laws
of the United
of
States
the United States
and the state,
and the state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. You sure you don't want my job either? Ready? Yeah. Okay, pick up your hand. Here we go. I, Jay Peña.
I, Jay Peña,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of city attorney
of city attorney
of the great city of Rio Grande City
of the great city of Rio Grande City
of Texas,
of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, defend the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws
of
of the United States
the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
Help me God.
Congratulations. Let's go, brother. Get a little slimmer. They eat ribeye, so it'll be tougher than.
Here we go, ready, 1, 2, and one, two, and just keep smiling. Give it a couple. Thank you.
Okay?
I'll give you the other ones.
So let's not forget the traditional, would y'all like to say a few words before we begin?
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
And having said that, I suppose we'll just get on to business and make it brief and thank the commission for the consideration for Pope and Peña. There's 2 attorneys on staff. John and I work on everything like a team, like brothers. We have a full team here. We employ folks here locally, and all of that team is now behind the city commission, and we're grateful and very thankful for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you on behalf of Pope and Peña, on behalf of our office. We appreciate it, and we will not let you down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next, business and orders, item 2, consent agenda. Letter A, approval of minutes from previous meeting. Letter 2B, approval of action taken at the meeting of the RGC-4B EDC held on August 31st, 2022. And letter C, approval of departmental travel request. You have a motion at this time?
I so move, Mayor. I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Escobedo to approve consent agenda item 2A, 2B, and 2C, and second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 3A, ordinances, second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2022-10, City of Rio Grande City Municipal Budget for fiscal year 2022-2023.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. As presented last week on the last week's meeting, the proposed budget, we continue to have the same unless you have any questions. We made some minor adjustments that were lacking in there. We reviewed it and we made some adjustments to the longevity. There were some employees that were missing it, so we added it. We still have a balanced budget. So I don't know if you have any questions on the proposed budget from last week.
Any questions or comments, Commissioners?
No,
Ready?
Yeah, I'm
This
ready.
time we entertain a motion.
I so move, Mayor, approve items 3A.
Okay, we have a
Okay,
motion to approve item.
On the agenda, if you see right there, there's the motion, the way you have to say it.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, specific.
Yes.
And it is
Quote,
a
unquote.
roll count, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Record vote. Go ahead.
I move that City Commission adopt and approve the budget for the fiscal year beginning of October 1st, 2022, and ending September 30th, 2023 as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Ramirez.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Olivares. And at this time, we'll have a record vote.
Yes, the record vote, Mayor Villarreal,
In favor?
Mayor Pro Tem
In
Ramirez,
favor?
Commissioner Olivares,
In favor.
Commissioner De Leon,
In favor.
and Commissioner Escobedo.
In favor.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next item is 3B, second reading and approval of ordinance number 2022-8, amending ordinance number 2014-13, previously creating Chapter 6 of the city's Code of Ordinances, Business License and Regulations, Article 2, Records, and revising Section 6-12, maximum rates, by increasing the maximum rates or fees authorized to be charged for record services in response to calls from an employee of the city acting in its official capacity. Chief?
Commission, good evening again. This is just nothing changed to the originally first proposed record ordinance. It is just to help them out with the fuel costs, raising the rates up for the citizens and also our department.
How many companies do we use, Chief?
Sorry, what
How
was
many
it?
companies do we use, record companies?
It's a total of 11 records.
And they're on a rotation basis, how do they get
On a
called?
rotation basis, the only time that we don't use the rotation if it's involving an accident. We allow the persons involved in the accident to decide which record they want. If they don't have a record, then we go into the rotation.
Okay.
So,
Entertain a motion at this time.
I so move.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 3B by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Escobedo,
This is also a record vote.
and it is also a record vote.
Yes. Mayor Villarreal,
In favor?
Mayor Pro Tem Ramirez,
In favor.
Commissioner De Leon,
In favor.
Commissioner Olivares,
In favor.
Commissioner Escobedo,
In favor.
motion passed.
Thank you. Next item is 4 items for consideration and approval. Letter A, discussion and possible action to approve several contracts, purchases, payments for several departments, each not exceeding $50,000 or triggering the Texas procurement process.
Yes, Mayor, you have a couple of, one payment for it's a payment for Millen and Hunt for the water treatment plant expansion collection system. If you have any questions, that one, Ms. Baez is here. The other one is the police department. We transitioning from 40 calibers to 9 millimeters, and there's several reasons for that. Other agencies in the county are carrying the same type of weapon. If something happens, we can use the same ammo, same magazines, and it's a 9 millimeter, so it's a little bit better, and they're easy to work with. So they're going to buy back all our weapons, and we would be getting new ones. And the cost of it, if you have any questions, the chief's here. It's about $8,648. So I think it's over 30 weapons, and we also will be transitioning a little bit later on to upgrade some of the weapons that we've had for a very long time. And we're going to go through the same process at that point. If y'all have any questions on the expense for Millen and Hunt, I think Ms. Bass is here.
Bass?
And the rest of them are invoices for bills, liabilities.
Mayor and Commissioners, the invoice that you have before you is part of the process of the feasibility plan for the wastewater treatment plant expansion. Feasibility plan has been completed. The expansion would be up to 500,000 gallons more to be treated water at our current sewer plant. It's also, this portion is for the permitting process and the environmental. We are seeking a categorical exclusive exemption because we're not adding on to it. It's within the same site. So that's been also sent to the state, and the permit to also increase it from a 1.5 to 2 MGDs, million gallons per day treatment. So this invoice is for that process. We've already had communication from the Texas Water Development Board asking for more information. Soon as they approve that, we'll be moving with the design as they have approved it, and we can start, they go on for bids.
Entertain a motion.
Yes, Mayor. I so move item 4A.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve item 4A by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares.
If I could, Mr. Mayor, if Mr. Escobedo would consider amending the motion just to include that it's subject to a hub verification performed. And that's to conform with 2520215. There has to be a hub verification. Just to make sure we avoid the procurement process.
As legal recommends, I would like to move item 4A.
And with the...
Made subject to hub verification.
Made subject
to a hub verification.
To a hub verification.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is 4B, discussion and possible action to close bank account 103-5644044.
Yes, Mayor, on this account hasn't been used for 3 years, and it's just to close it up because we've been paying fees on it. So it's just to remove that account. If that account is needed in the future, we can, you'll come back to the board and ask to reopen that.
I move that we approve item 4BS.
Do we have any other accounts like this?
I'll ask Mr. Cantu to look into that, and so we could do the same thing.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Olivares to approve item 4B. Have a second? Second by Commissioner De Leon. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 4C, discussion and possible action to approve and accept the proposal from Sames Engineering for the Texas Department of Agriculture, CDV 210426 grant.
Yes.
Ms. Reyes?
Go ahead, Ms. Reyes.
Sorry. Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, last week we presented a lot of policies that are required under the Texas Department of Agriculture Community Development the grant, and so this is for the paving of Plainview and Reina Street. So now the next step, of course, is to hire an engineer. Sames Engineering was scored, and they scored the highest and was selected. They have since brought in a proposal, which you have in your packet, for $58,037.25. Their scope of work has to follow the criteria that's with the project with the Texas Department of Agriculture regulations. They are doing similar work with Escobares and I believe Roma. I know we have two representatives, Mr. Rosbel and Mario here, representing Sames. Sames has been doing some work for us on other projects, and they've proven to be, quite reliable.
Okay. We entertain the motion, or commissioners have any questions for the engineer?
There are no questions, Mayor, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the items presented.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 4C by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 4D, discussion and possible action to approve an amendment with Half Engineering Services for the water line improvements in Las Brisas.
Yes. Mayor and Commissioners, as you know, our paving project with the bond monies has started. Rain has hampered a little bit some of the progress, but a lot of the traffic control signage has gone up, and of course signage from the city alerting the people of the coming up construction. If you all recall some time back, the situation with the water line in Las Brisas subdivision, it is a line that runs behind the homes. It is like about 2 feet accessible. I know I have a crewman here who has tried to work within the roots that are within that pipe, and it's the old white PVC pipe that breaks easily. We recently had a leak in that area, and it caused some damage to one of the fence walls, bardas that they do. As the streets are going to get repaired and already broken up, we want to take the opportunity to lay in a new water line, leave the service lines to the homes, and when they are ready to start connecting, they will connect. So the old line will still be an active line, and then we'll give them some time to start connecting to the new line. Because, we fear that there might be a leak that we won't be able to get to, or that they could have some substantial damage from that old water line.
That old water line is inside the property?
Yes.
Yes, there's an easement, Mayor, but this is a no subdivision prior to the city incorporated, so there was really no one regulating the construction. So a lot of the fence walls they enclosed the easement, and so they left very little or none at all in some areas. They have beautiful landscaping, but the roots of some of those trees have really, placed the pipes in a real precarious condition that they break easily.
By when do you estimate finishing project?
We want to move in right before or right at the time that they're doing the paving. That whole subdivision will be paved. We do not want to go back in and start cutting up new paving. That's why we want to coordinate it with the paving. So the plans will be drawn up, and the contractor will be given an opportunity to give us an amount, so that way he's doing it at the same time that he's doing the street.
Okay. Thank you. I so move item 4D, Mayor.
Have a motion to approve item 4D by Commissioner Escobedo.
That's the motion.
Second by Commissioner Ramirez. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 4E, discussion and possible action to approve the purchase of 4 Chevrolet Tahoes for the police department through the Operation Stone Garden grant.
Mayor, Commission, good evening again. Unfortunately, back in April 6, the City Commission approved the purchase of 4 Ford Explorers through Operation Stone Garden. We did get $240,000 for this grant. This past week, I got called by our vendor that Ford canceled all their 2022 orders, leaving us without vehicles. So they are going to be producing 2023s, but the price went up $10,000 each. So we looked into the Chevrolet Tahoes, which we thought were more expensive last year. They're actually cheaper this year. So to purchase 4, we have the $240,000 to budget. We're just asking for approval if the police department could pay the difference of $34,889 with 48 cents, and that would give us a 4th vehicle.
All right, so I entertain a motion.
So moved, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 4E by Commissioner Olivares. Second by Commissioner Del Leon. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 5, contracts and agreements. Letter A, discussion and possible action to approve agreement with Uniform Services with the City of Rio Grande City.
Yes.
Commissioners, it'll be soon to renew our contract that we have with Uniforms. They are a buy board vendor, and they've been giving us a real good price. You all know some of the water department uniforms are blue. I believe the Public Works is tan, and Parks is gray. So what we've encountered is that at night when the crews have to work, they have no reflectors, or they've got to use a vest, and they are hard to be noticed at night. So this uniforms that y'all are getting a picture of, a copy of, is showing a reflection on the bars on the sleeves on their pants, so that when they're out working at night, they are visible and we won't have any accidents.
Excellent idea.
Good idea.
They look real sharp in those uniforms.
They're nice.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion at this time.
I so move, Mayor.
I'll second it.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 5B, discussion and possible action to approve the lease agreement from Enterprise Fleet Management for the Public Utility Department.
Go ahead, Ms.
Okay. So I know that a lot of conversations have been going on the fleet. We believe it with the Public Utilities Department. We've got 2 2014 diesel 250 trucks down. They need a motor. Just a rebuilt motor costs about $16,000 each. We've been spending up to $26,000 on repairs, and it could be more, but I do have my crewman / mechanic, Tony, working on them when he should be working on leaks, but we're trying to save money and get it out faster. So he has worked on several of our trucks, but in this case, he would need to actually put in a new motor or a rebuilt motor. The program itself calls for to turn in the vehicles that we have. They would sell them, and the money that would be gotten from that auction would be applied to the down payment of the 13 vehicles. The 13 vehicles are for 4 years. They are 4x4. They are 4 doors. They are diesel 250s. The other ones for the meter readers, they are just regular vehicles. These are all 2023 vehicles, year 2023. We've been able to identify the funds within the budget, not only from the money that was going into the repairs that will be moved towards the payment, and the payment is $114,000 per year.
What's the amount again, I'm sorry?
How much?
114,000
for 13 vehicles per year.
How many years?
4 years.
And then from there, I guess they're going to replace it. So, but it'll be 114 for the next, how many years?
4 years. 114.
Right, once the 4 years are up, I'm assuming we're gonna be replacing those, and it'll continue as far as the 114 from here on out. Is that?
Yes, sir. It could even be more because if you all recall, the money's going towards the down payment, so you're bringing down the principal. So when they're up for 4 years, the balance any balance that's there is going to be less, and the auction price will be higher. So we're hoping that it'll continue to be a little bit lower. But if it remains at 114, that would be the best.
But do we have the option to keep those vehicles?
Yes.
Or do we have to turn them back in?
We have the option to purchase them at the end of the 4 years. That could be an option. At that time, we could get our own financing or finance it through them also.
And they're responsible for any maintenance or anything on the vehicles?
Yes, the only thing that-
Mechanical failures or anything?
They have 4 mechanics here, and they know that these vehicles are priority. What is not included is wipers and tires, but everything else, it is.
Are they putting a limit on miles per year?
No, sir. There's not a
No
limit.
free tires for life?
No.
That would be nice.
No. If there is a deficiency in the product, yes, it is. I do know that right now, people think we have 2 crew members, but we actually have 3 crews of 3, but they're all cramped up, and that's one thing that they're asking, because it's 105, and we've been working, and we're all close to each other, so.
What's going to be a balance after those 4 years? What's going to be a balance due if you decide to keep those 13 vehicles?
I believe it's in the spreadsheet that you have.
If I didn't find it, so that's what I'm asking. I'm sorry.
It was a blue spreadsheet.
Yeah, I don't see a spreadsheet. It's a lot of documents.
It's just a contract,
We have a contract.
Oh, okay.
I don't think y'all added the spreadsheet.
Yeah, the spreadsheet. Okay. I'm not very sure on that, but I believe it was like about 110,000.
Yes.
Because we brought down the principal. So a lot of it is going, but it was about 100, yes.
That's something to consider. But okay, we'll get there. We'll discuss that, I guess, when we get to that point.
Yeah, but the money is available because that's the first thing they asked me. Do you have the money? And I said, we look for it. Obviously, there were some fees also that were being charged, and the city was picking them up, so now they're going to be reversed.
So it's gonna be 13 vehicles, and these, how many vehicles do we have overall with the department? Is it 13? It'd be all 13 that we're gonna be replacing, or there's others that?
Yes, the 13 will be replaced. We already had 4 down, sir. So, we barely have a fleet right now.
Okay. And I guess it really comes down to this. So it's within the budget. As far as what you have your budget, it's going to be covered. Then at the end of 4 years, so if we continue, then at that point they're going to be replacing those 4. Every vehicle will be no more than 4 years old. Is that what I mean?
That's correct.
All right.
Everyone.
They're going to be constantly replaced.
Yeah.
So in essence, we'll be driving new vehicles every 4 years.
Mayor, and if they have a higher resale value at a certain point between that, they'll be traded in, and they'll give you the resale value over the price, and that comes back to the city. So that number might change a little bit later on if that's the case. So, yes, that's more.
And at this point, I guess we could theoretically use this as your department being the pilot department or pilot project, I should say, and
other departments, yeah.
for others down the road, because it makes theoretical sense, but are there any catches? And that's where we need our attorney to look at the contract and see all the details of it, because I was once told that I was going to get free tires for life, and it was not true. When I bought my truck a long time ago, and it was not true. There was some language in there that apparently I needed to go have oil changes at the place, and somehow.
Well, I was
so we need to make sure that legal.
What I was somehow curious was on the amount of money that we're going to get for our vehicles that we have. 2 of our vehicles, their seats are covered with duct tape. There are no seats, and one of them doesn't have a handlebar. they're in very bad
Yes,
conditions.
and absolutely. I mean, and that's not saying that we don't want to replace them. The question is, on the details of it is, are we going to get the best for our, more bang for the buck as opposed to, I mean, and off the top, it makes sense. Yes, it does. I just want to make sure the details on the contracts are
I did
ironed out.
go over the monies with Mr. Cantu,
Okay.
and he said it was doable, it was within.
Are we auctioning them off? Like, if we approve this, or are they auctioning them?
They are auctioning it off. They have a better chance of getting higher prices than we do here locally.
So we entertain the motion with a contingency that, of course, that legal looks at the contract and all the details and so on. So entertain a
I
motion.
move that pending legal approval, that we approve item 5B. Oh, what is it, 5B, as presented.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 5B by Commissioner Olivares.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Escobedo. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Thank you.
Mayor and Commissioners, we really want to thank you because we desperately need it.
I just want to say good afternoon, Commissioners, and I appreciate it because, I mean, we trying to keep up with the fee we got right now, so it's hard, but we're getting it, but thank you for approving.
No, thank you all.
Thank you all for everything you do.
Absolutely.
So how long is this, are they gonna, will the process take before we get those new vehicles?
Yeah, we're trying to get this going because there would be Fords, and the Fords sometimes have additional government discounts, so maybe the price would go down even less. And so we, once they all approve it and the papers are signed, first vehicles would come in around April or May, June, and the last one's in July.
Okay, good.
And then at that time is when the payment would be due,
Okay.
after the other vehicles are.
And then, in the meantime, we have to do with what we have and continue with the tape. Is that what we're
Well, well, that's why I'm super grateful
It's a
with
joke,
Tony.
please, people. Don't take it seriously.
No,
The last thing we need.
we buy some more.
All right,
But he's
jokes.
doing business.
Since we started with the cookie jokes in the morning, we're going to continue with the jokes.
No, he really does his best to keep our vehicles going.
Thank you, Tony.
Do they
Thank
take
you.
all your cars at once?
No, sir, they won't take the vehicles until we get the new ones. So if they bring 3, then they'll take 3, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
I know, right?
Next item, 5C, discussion and possible action to approve the lease agreement with Star of Hope for rental premises at 405 East Mirasoles, Suite A.
I move to approve item 5C, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 5C by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Olivares. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 5D, discussion and possible action to approve the lease agreement with Cynthia Barrera, SMB taxes for rental premises at 405 East Mirasoles, Suite G.
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 5G by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner De Leon. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is 5E, discussion and possible action to approve the lease agreement. Okay, did we already do that one?
No.
No, this is she's
the third one.
renting two.
All right, 2. I saw the same name there. Discussion and possible action to approve the lease agreement with Cynthia Barrera and Belinda Schwartz, Grandma's Cottage for rental premises at 405 East Mirasoles, Suite E.
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Commissioner Ramirez, second by Commissioner Escobedo. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand.
I will abstain, Mayor.
Motion passes. Next item, and again for the record, Commissioner Olivares abstained. Next item is 5F, we already took care of that. 6A and 6B, discussion and possible action to declare certain items as surplus from several departments.
Yes, Mayor, you have the fire department that has some personal protective gear, and I think the chief can talk about that a little bit, because I think he's planning to kind of help another department with that. And this is where Norma was coming to Ms. Foltz about the library computers also.
As we keep on, good evening again, we need some stuff, clearing some stuff from the airport. We're constantly coming across gear, old gear that they keep on popping up, hasn't been obsolete for a while. We're reaching out again to the fire department. This time we're going to reach out to Miguel Lemán as well as Camago, and we're trying to get a hold of the other third fire department that that reached out to us. But right now, we have set forth dividing some of the stuff accordingly, equally to them as well. Just some more stuff.
Thank you, Chief.
We're trying to clear out.
Thank you. We entertain a motion at this time.
I so move item 6A.
Okay, we have you need
6B. I'm sorry, 6B.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item 6B by
Second.
Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Next item is, okay, you already took care of that, and we can reconvene to back to regular session, and there's no action on item 8A or no action on item 8B at this time. Any last announcements before we conclude for the day, Chief?
Mayor, I know they have a couple of events. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and like Assistant Chief Solis said, National Night Out's coming at the end of the month. If everybody can make it, we'll be putting that out. And the library always has something going on. I think it's every week, and there's just a lot of stuff that's upcoming for the holidays. And we're looking at the pumpkin patch that's upcoming, and Halloween's on the way, and the rest of the year is going to go really, really fast. So, this is to kick it off. So that's about it. Unless somebody else has something else, Mayor, we're good to go.
Just Chick-fil-A should be opening very soon, I guess. So watch out for that.
Very soon. Oh,
Very soon. So, all right. Do we have a motion?
So I move to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn by Commissioner Escobedo, second by Commissioner Olivares. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Motion passes. Meeting is adjourned. It is 7.